Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I am Sue Kramer and today we are talking about vellum. Let me find myself on my tablet so I can answer any questions and interact with you. That's half the fun of doing these live videos. Okay, so I'm recording live on Facebook. That's where I am now. I am going to upload this to YouTube. And then you will also find me on Pinterest. I have a blog and my website if you want to order Stampin' Up! Products through me. That would be awesome. I think right now that's all my social media outlets. I'm not on Instagram yet, but that's next on my list. So today's topic came from a request by a customer. So my customers that ordered during the month of April received a card kit, which we talked about a few weeks ago. And I have a couple samples to show you of what I did with the card kit. And I have lots of ideas on using vellum. So let's get started. I see I have somebody with me. Hello, thank you for joining me. As I said, this is going to go on YouTube. And it's a little frustrating when people talk interact on a Facebook Live and then they upload it to YouTube because I want to know what the questions are. So I will try to remember to relay questions that you post on Facebook now so that people watching later on YouTube aren't too confused. So vellum. We offer vellum in the annual catalog on page 169. That's the current 1920 annual catalog. And you get 20 8.5 by 11 sheets of, they call it vellum cardstock, and I have a piece here. So it's not real thin. I mean, you can stamp on it. I embossed that. Can you see I embossed that daisy? We're going to color it with blends in a minute. So it's kind of sturdy. I wouldn't make a card base out of it. I use it a lot for layers and other elements in my card, but I wouldn't use, you could use this as an overlay on a card. It could be really fancy, kind of like a wedding invitation or something like that. So I stamped, talking of stamping, I stamped on this little scrap using Memento ink and StazOn ink. The Memento took a long time to dry. I checked it overnight, so, but you can stamp on it, and as I showed you here, you can emboss it. It is a little warped, but when I stamp flowers like that, I'm going to punch them out anyway, and I want some dimension to them, so that would be really pretty. Silver or gold or copper embossed and then punched out. So, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so it's currently on page 169. It is in the new catalog, the 2021 catalog on page 153. Same vellum, same price. So that's good. If you saw here, we actually have some other vellum right now. It's called Perennial Essence. And this is the one that customers got in their card kit in April. I need to stay organized here. Hold on, because having cluttered space gets really confusing. So this was my card sample. And we're going to talk about this little piece of vellum here. I just trimmed off just a strip to stamp on. And you can see the adhesive through there. We'll talk a lot about adhesive as we're working with our vellum on our cards tonight. Another sample, and this was a Z-fold. Oh, I did that on May 4th, if you want to see, because it was my April thank you to customers from April. This one I just embossed around the edges with my scoring blade on my trimmer. This one was actually embossed with my Big Shot and an embossing folder. I just love the look of that. So this was the Petal Pink, I believe was the color. Yes, the Perennial Essence Vellum is in the current catalog. It is on the Last Chance products. It is not on sale. I was hoping I'd be able to tell you it was on sale, but it's not. But you get 3 colors, and you get 12 sheets, 3 for each of the 3 colors: Old Olive, Petal Pink, and So Saffron. So we might use some of that later tonight. There are times when Stampin' Up! Will offer other vellum. We had this one a while ago, and I don't know if there's a date on here. Oops. It was called Gold Fancy Foil Designer Vellum. There's no year on here, but this was a few years back. I'll clean up as I go. And this one had hearts, dots, and the stripes. So, I made a card using that. This is for a new grandniece. So I just tied it all together. This stamp says, "One little baby, many happy hearts." And so there's hearts coming out of the watering can, and there's hearts on the vellum. And I stamped a heart on the envelope. So on this one, it was easy to hide the adhesive. I placed the elements on top first, and then I knew where the adhesive could go underneath. So you can see it is not adhered under here. If you have tiny glue dots, you could put it under those hearts. So, oh, I hear myself. Sorry, I forgot to turn that down. You don't need to hear me twice. All right, so a lot of, here's another card sample. This is one of our new in colors. It's called Magenta Madness. Correct me if I'm wrong. I see we have a demonstrator watching me, so correct me if I'm ever wrong there. And that is such a bright color. This was Flirty Flamingo. And I just thought the vellum lent itself to tone down the color here to soften it a little more. And I have a card we're going to make with these same elements, but we're going to use black instead. So some other things we can do with vellum. So we've embossed it. We put a layer on our dark or bright cardstock to lighten it. We can use, let me bring back some of the green. So these are the foil edged cards. I believe the silver are gone. There are some gold on the Last Chance products. And these are just card bases that I put a piece of designer series paper on. They are retired designer series paper. Sorry. They're beautiful, but we're going to work with those a little bit. So I have some strips of cardstock here. And we're going to I'm going to show you how simple it is to make a card, a lovely card, having the right product. So just a pretty piece of designer series paper. I'm going to start showing you some new products. I'm excited about some of these, and I don't want to wait till June. This is a new label punch called, I believe it's Lovely Layers. And can you check for me and I'll watch comments. And it's a triple punch, but you get two different shapes. So I have some vellum pieces here that we're going to punch on the ends, and then we're going to layer our sentiment. And then I think we'll punch some sprigs, and I'll show you how quick and easy it is to create. We're going to use, that doesn't quite match, but that's okay. So these, I labeled it, they're 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch wide are the strips. And I have 1 inch pieces of vellum here. We'll do this more rounded one. So you line it up. Can you see there? And punch. It makes a really nice end. That's going to be too long. Need my trimmer. Oh, I love stamping down, or doing my videos downstairs by my craft area, because I can just grab what I need real quick. It's not far away. I used to video upstairs, and I'd have to take everything upstairs with me, and the lighting may have been better. Oh, that's pretty. All right. So that is the widest. That was a 1 inch piece. Then I have a thinner piece of gray. I thought that kind of tied in. And this is 1/2 inch. So we're going to skip the 3/4. So I'm going to punch the end. And there's that. I do have my garbage here. And just kind of eyeballing if it's not the right length. So we're going to punch this. Too long. We're going to cut some more off there. See, I can't punch and talk at the same time. This is going to be a great little punch. There we go. For our And did you look that up for me? Do you have your catalog handy? It's a, I want to say lovely label punch. And then I have a couple stamp sets here, and I bought a brand new basic gray ink pad. Woven Heirlooms and Butterfly Gala are both continuing in the next catalog. I have a thank you so much, or you've been on my mind. I think I like that, you've been on my mind, with what we've been going through these last months. Can you believe it's been months? Ay, ay, ay. So, lay that flat, pick it up. Photopolymer. I did remember to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat. The Stampin' Pierce mat is not in the new annual catalog, but Stampin' Up! Realizes how many of us use it for stamping, so it will be available. It'll be a write-in item. If you don't have one and you have trouble with photopolymer stamps, I highly suggest you get one. I'm going to hold my breath and stop talking for just a second. There we go. You've been on my mind. What a nice sentiment. I hope you've been sending cards. I hope you've been stamping and making cards and sending them. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. So we're going to just layer that, and I think we're going to punch with our vellum. A couple sprigs, just to add some more dimension and interest to our card. And I'm showing this one because this punch is continuing. So it punches very easily. We'll do 3. Because it is thinner. It's not as thick as regular cardstock. I don't know the weight. I wish I did. So we're going to use some glue dots. Oh, Anne says her catalog's in her car. Tell you what, I will talk about that. Punch later, or I'll just grab my, so I'm just going to use a glue dot on the bottom of this sprig, and I use my thumb to kind of push it up. There we go. Just going to put 3 of those. I guess things in nature come in odd numbers. Have to look, next time I go on a walk, I'll have to notice if that's true. I didn't pick that up. So I'm just picking up a glue dot with my piece here, my sprig. Alright. And we'll put some glue dots on here, and you can see that you can see the adhesive through there. If I show you really close, you can see the adhesive through there. I know that I'm going to put my sentiment on top of it, so that's okay. I don't mind that you can see that through there. And I need some mini dimensionals. I'm so glad we have the mini ones. I didn't know I needed them until I got them. I think a lot of us used to cut full-size dimensionals for smaller strips like this. All right. You've been on my mind. And there we have a simple card. You know what? I put it upside down. Oh, I was going to do something different on this one. I'm getting ahead of myself, so we'll just turn it over. You've been on my mind. I think I'm going to add a couple more. It looks funny with them coming down. What I was going to do with that paper, and I have other ones here, I was going to show you the difference between just layering some punches on your card. Let's get these out of the way. I'm going to make a pile of all the cards I'm showing you tonight, and we'll show them all at the end. So there's just a card, and I'd probably add a ribbon. I don't have any handy. But just to add a layer of vellum behind it. Just a little something different, something more. Or you can put it on top of that Blackberry Bliss to tone it down. Maybe just show a little bit of it with some silver ribbon. That'd be a very pretty card. Simple. And I think the vellum does add a lot to that. So let's move on. I have more to show you. I don't want to run out of time, and I don't want to keep you too long, because I'm sure you have other things you're doing. All right. Let's see. Where did that piece go? see, I cleaned up too much. And now I need that piece back. All right, so I had embossed this. Let's see, this one on this side. We're going to color it with our blends. I'm going to use dark and light rich raspberry. Let's start with the light. And I'm just going to go quick. This would be great to do while you're watching the news or watching TV or a movie, because I am going to punch it out. And we're going to go dark in the middle. And then we have our punch. This is the medium daisy punch. And I was afraid of that. I didn't plan ahead when I stamped it. Let's see if I can get it right in there. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, goodness. So there's our daisy punch. I think I would add some more. Where's a piece of scrap paper? I was kind of quick with my coloring. Which side is embossed? That side's embossed. We're going to color on the back side. And I chose darker colors so that you could see it better in the video. So there you can color embossed, but I used clear embossing powder, by the way. You can color on the back using your blends. So I have another one here. I showed you it earlier where I just covered a piece of Magenta Madness, I believe, with a piece of vellum just to lighten it up. This time we're going to use black. I've got a couple more cards planned, and then I have one last idea. That'll work. So what I did was I used glue dots, you can see on the back. And I knew I was going to put rhinestones in the middle of those flowers, which is why I have them here. So that is how I held that die cut piece on. And I'm going to do the same with my Take Your Pick tool. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to plan this card first. I have some die cut pieces here. These are from the Wild Rose bundle, to a Wild Rose. And I need my mat back. I already have the stamp on the block, and it says, "True friendship is one of God's greatest gifts." And just to tone it down, we're going to use basic gray instead of black. Again, stamping pierce mat with my photopolymer stamp. And there are some more solid lines on this stamp. Hold it for just a second. Thank you for watching me live. I do appreciate it. Oh, this is going to be pretty in the black. Put that there. We're going to put a couple of these underneath. Actually, I think I do like the white. And I just die cut these leaves. I thought I had another one. Maybe not. I think I used it on that other card. Oh, there it is. So what I'm going to do is use glue dots again. And I'm going to adhere. I'm going to put it on the front of this. And I'm going to adhere it to the back of the die. Let's set that out of the way. This one doesn't really have a front or a back. That one didn't work. Let's try again. I ripped the stem of the leaf. Pick it up with the die cut. Yeah, I kind of like it without the flowers. We'll just use the leaves. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on this. I have a new one. There we go. The larger piece, I can use larger dimensionals or regular size. dimensionals. Now I know right where this is going to be on the vellum, and then I don't have to worry about seeing the adhesive through the vellum because the vellum is sheer. So we're just going to kind of center it that way. Now I know where my snail adhesive can go. And we're going to use glue dots. And where'd they go? I'm just falling apart today. I'm going to put a glue dot right on the back side where that other glue dot was, because I know a rhinestone is going to go right there to cover it. Can you see that? Okay, good. Sorry if those cards on the side are distracting. Maybe I'll move them real quick. There we go. So I put a glue dot right on the opposite side of the vellum where the other glue dot was. And now I see I can put a glue dot on the back side of this leaf. There. Now I can adhere it to our card. Open it, furnish it. And all the adhesive is kind of hidden behind the elements on the card. Now I can use my Take Your Pick tool to add our rhinestones. See, I can't do this and talk either. You know what? I have rhinestones. Let's use them. Let's bling up this card and put them on all of them. So that's another, you can just tone down sorry, words aren't coming to me. You can just tone down the color of your cardstock. The last card I was going to make is just the same idea. It was just a masculine card that had a vellum element just to tone it down, kind of like that, like this one. Just to tone down and give it some more texture on the card. I do have one other thing, however. Let me look at my list. So we can emboss vellum. We can use a layer to lighten, in this case, our black. You can punch leaves. You can emboss. And I would color on the back. Well, you could color the front. You could use vellum if you have a stamp and either a die cut or a punch. In the new catalog, we have a jar punch and coordinating stamp sets. You could stamp and punch the jar in vellum and it'll look like glass. Or if you have, currently there's a hostess set that is a fishbowl, and that's kind of fun that you can, could make that out of vellum. So my last thing are these little luminaries. Let's get some of this out of the way so you can see. I made these to sell at a craft fair, and then I ended up not going to the craft fair. So this one I die cut the shape on two sides of a this is a 2x2 by 2x2 box, and I put some ribbon on the top. This one is a punch that is coming back in the holiday catalog in September or August, I don't know, but it's a punch. So this one was die cut and this one was punched, and I actually had these on our Christmas dinner table. Still light, so you can't really see. So there are a few ideas on how you can use vellum. I hope that helps. Happy stamping. Thanks for joining me today. Let me grab my catalog and tell you what page that punch is on. Sorry, I should have planned ahead. Where are they? I can't show you the pages yet. If you don't have a demonstrator, let me know and I will get you a catalog. Punches start on page 165. And that new one is called Lovely Labels Pick a Punch. It's on page 169 and it's $23. So that's good. You'll see this a lot in my videos. That was a nice one. So let me bring all these cards back. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. I hope you have some vellum you can use. Is that all of them? I want to say there's one more. That's all I can find right now. Thanks for joining me. Happy stamping. Stay safe. Stay healthy.